moving on from John Wall, a great player, but now we're going into an even nether echelon. Well, some people will say we're wrong here. Maybe people will say this player is not as good as someone like Trae Young or Kyle Lowry or Chris Paul. But we have Darren Fox, who just signed a max contract, even though people are chirping him for signing, or chirping Sacramento for signing for a max contract. The guy shows promise. He's the leader of that team.
Yeah, and he's a guy who took a big step last year in terms of really being that leader, like you said. Yes, he obviously did put up better numbers on the board, but he really took a huge step in that leadership role, and he did get Sacramento to look like a competitive team, maybe not night after night, but for a good chunk of the season, they actually looked like they were a decent team. They did have some drama towards the end of the year and obviously going into the
Yeah.
offseason as well. But you know what? Who knows how long that was dragging? They got rid of a piece that was dragging on for them. They got Hassan Whiteside, and I could see there being a lot of plays where De'Aaron Fox, like you said about John Wall, he's in a lot of ways I think the new John Wall, where he's probably the quickest guy in the NBA today, and he's going to have the ability to really set up Hassan Whiteside, almost like a DeAndre Jordan, where it's not going to be a Showtime thing, but in terms of getting a lot of easy alley oops and putbacks, De'Aaron Fox and Hassan Whiteside are going to look like a very good 1-2 tandem in that regard.
The pick and roll is going to
Yeah,
be very nice between them, right?
absolutely.
And I think Fox is still getting better and better and better every year. And that's why I put him ahead of John Wall, Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul, because Fox is only going to have a better year, while we've probably seen the best years we're ever going to see from those players.
I
As
agree.
much as we can see John Wall making a comeback, we've probably seen the best John Wall we're ever going to see. But if he comes back to 95% of the player he was, he's still top 10. But Darren Fox, I think, is just a bit ahead of him because we don't know what the future is going to bring. This could be all he is, but if this is all he is, he's still a top 10 player. But he has so much potential to be even more, especially on that Sacramento team. To get any higher in this is going to be very difficult, though. So
Honestly, I think it's very possible because it's a guy who was actually first in field goal percentage for point guards who took 15 or more shots last year, but he was actually only shot 30% or so from three pointers.
yeah, he couldn't really shoot a three.
Yeah, and then we see guys like Deontay Murray, who we spoke about earlier in this list, who they really eventually started to find that jump, where he also was 28% throughout his first couple years, I believe they're in the same draft. But I'm not. I feel like the three-pointer, especially for point guards, is one of the easier skills to develop over time. Where we could easily see De'Aaron Fox jump 6 to 7% in 1 year. It could even be this year. And then if he hits 1 to 2 more threes per game, we're talking about a guy who 24, 25, 26 points per game
Yeah,
easily.
big difference.
Yeah, like we said, he's already up there in terms of being one of the best passers out there. He's already sort of definitely not in terms of assist wise, but in terms of being quick and just being able to set guys up. In terms of, like I said, running that pick and roll with the white side, it's going to be a lot of easy dishes for him there. So I really see Darren Fox making a big improvement even this year, where he went up to 21 last year. I could see him going up to 24 this year easily.
Even if he does that, in my mind, I still don't think he gets any higher. And the reason why I say that, because I'm actually just going to roll into our next one, because I